What is going on, everybody? Alright, so it has been a minute since I've been on here. It's okay. But we're back into playing some Fire Emblem Heroes. We're only going to touch on this a little bit because there's other things that I want to talk about while this is playing in the background. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to be talking about just what I like to do with teams and team building. And I haven't really sorted it out into any sort of like grading system yet, but what I'm hoping to do with this is go through some teams that I have made up and show you the difference between some like S tier teams and some, maybe some lesser numbered teams. So let's go ahead and hop into this, and we'll just kind of take it a thing at a time. I'm not necessarily going for points here, but just kind of getting a feel for what's going on. Usually in arena or anything that you're battling people, you got to keep in mind who the meta is right now. So obviously Fallen Eldegard is one of the most obnoxious people to deal with just because she doesn't allow follow-up attacks. And so it is super hard and super difficult to make 7 different teams without having to worry about switching out. Oh, I'm facing her this time. Well, what if I face her next time? I've faced like 2 or a whole team of Eldegards one time, and I was like, is this a joke? But anyway, so as you can see, what I have for this team right now is I have a blue, red, and green unit, and then I have what I call as a support unit. That can really be anything. And that's really what it is to just deal with anything that's going on at the time. So Fallen Dimitri, he can really take out just about anybody. He doesn't allow follow-up attacks at all, which is insane. Asbel takes care of any flyers that we have, as well as having a very high speed. So his chances of following up are like crazy high up there. And then we have my boy Edwin. He's my favorite. And so what I've done to him is not something that a lot of people have their Edwin at, but he has attack boon. I have given him unity balloons. He has iceberg just because his resistance is fairly high up there. And then he also has attack resistance. He has low attack resistance and attack smoke just to top things off, because I don't have anyone to get rid of attack menace yet. And then just blade session just to give him that much more attack and or speed if he needs it. And so here's what we have right now. This team can pretty much dominate more or less anybody. But my main issue, and then we have Lachesis, and her main thing is that she is a huge support, not so much in the giving buffs, but giving debuffs to the opponent. And so anyone with less resistance than her, she makes -5 attack and speed, which is insane. Not too much. I think that it could be more, but just if they're sitting next to each other, so they don't even have to be in the same lane as her. They can just be sitting right next to each other, and then they get the debuff, and no one's going to have more resistance than 55. That's near impossible. So we'll go ahead and start this. I'm actually just going to send the support up front. And she is 100% not going to be attacked. The only issue that you could run into is someone has... Okay. Alright, so we're going to back off of this for a little bit, but we did take care of their support, and that was the main thing. Yikes, 99. That's insane. That's a freaking crazy number right there. Yikes. Oh, why do you have a follow-up attack? Because she has Gale Force. Oh, that was my fault. Alright, we're gonna back out of this. That was stupid. But that's what happens, unfortunately. That was my fault, I didn't look. Alright. So again, we can do the same thing. We're just trying to get the puny out of the way. I'm just risking it for the biscuit. Okay. 100%. Yep. Just because your resistance is so much higher than everybody else's. And we're not going to be able to double you probably at all. We'd have to send in like everybody. Yikes. Oh, that's still not enough. Okay. So what does she have? Surge Sparrow. What is this even at? Something about max HP, special restores HP. Cooldown value times 20 plus 10. Alright. We are within 2 spaces of a unit. And so we're getting a +1 from our support partner. 43 on top of... I don't think that we're going to be able to not get doubled. So let's just go ahead and see what happens. Oh wait, I'm so dumb. We were saved by that. I didn't even realize I was standing on one of those. Can't get by anyway. Alright. Okay, so for the second team, I haven't really sorted it out too well, but basically what I have is I have a mage powerhouse, which is Blythe right here. Now I don't know what someone gave him, but I saw someone who had like just no merged Blythe, and they had him at like 67 attack, and I have no idea what they had. Maybe they had life and death or something, and I don't know what it was. But anyway, we have Canna, which is starting to be, with his new stone, a very good unit. I like him a lot, and he was one of my very first units to be a very S tier unit that was obtained very early on. We have Brunia, and I definitely got that merge project on. So she has speed ideal, she has attack speed, lull, and then attack drive, because I don't think that Menace was out yet when she was out. I could be wrong though. And this is more of an example of just a B team or an A team. Definitely not an S tier team, because you just have good units, and nothing really that Blythe has synergizes well, or synergizes, I guess, besides the follow-up. So those 2 units are good. I like those 2 units, but then you have Brunya, who's a straight brute forcer, and then you have Marth, who takes out tanks. So all very good units, but we just don't have that extra step of being able to synergize with each other. And so let's go ahead and go on, because I don't really care to look at what the opponent has and doesn't have unless they have movement boosts or anything, but it doesn't look like it. So let's go ahead and continue. So we can take out him with Brunya, Xander with Brunya, Blythe, we can take out Soren, and we'll just send Blythe back. And Brunya take out Dimitri, and nah. There we go. Alright. So Blythe can 100% take out Dimitri. And then we're going to go ahead and send Marth up there because he has the tank killer weapon. Marth is a merge project that I am working on though, because I just don't have the things to give him to make him OP yet. But he does have all of his merges up. He doesn't have his fire flowers or anything yet though. Alright, so this is another team that I've made. Nothing spectacular again, so I'd rate this probably like has a lot of S tier units in it. So I'd probably rate this like an A team. Maybe an S team, I'm not sure. But we have Black Knight. He's mainly taking care of the defensive side, whereas Eldegard's kind of an all-around kind of person who can really take out attack or defense people. And then Hector is really just for anybody who's giving either of them beef, because he nullifies the follow-up and also dishes out follow-up damage. And then Sephiron, I almost said Sephiroth for a second. He's just there to be a support person. I'd like to work on him a little bit more. I just never got into him that far. But I would definitely change the B to probably be like Weary Fighter, just because you don't want him being followed up. He's just there to heal, and that's pretty much it, which is why I've kept his odd recovery, where he gives 20 and here's penalties or something. Neutralizes any penalties within 2 spaces of the unit. So incredibly good unit, just as a support. So I'd like to do more with him. And then I have Eldegard here because she can give everybody a little bit more mobility. Yikes. Yikes. What is this Sigurd at? Close defense, and his thing gives him 10, right? That's ridiculous. Okay, alright. This is gonna be an interesting... You have Tome of Order, so triangle difference. So we're going to send him back here. And we're going to send Eldegard here. She should be able to take care of both of them. And then we'll have Sigurd, who's coming up. then Sigurd. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll take care of Lucina, who should also be taken care of by Eldegard. Oh, forgot that. That was my fault. Alright, and then perfect. Hector should be able to take care of Sigurd. And then, there we go. So just a lot of S-tier units on the same team. Doesn't always make the best team, but the main thing is that I'll go through making the team process and what I go to. But the gist of it, if you haven't seen it already, is pretty much for the most part, have some sort of unit that can support. So in this case it would be Sothe, but we also have a backup as Morgan. And then we have people dish out damage and a tank, someone who can suck up damage. If there's someone who just puts you in a bad spot. He has Odd Tempest, so he's about to get his second boost. And Morgan is another free-to-play unit that is easily able to get very OP now that he has his Refine, because his Refine is essentially going to be Menace. Or it is Menace. That's what I thought. Yikes. Yikes. He's gonna have to stay there. There we go. There it is. And so this team is actually, you'd think, would be all beast. However, the only reason why I have Larichel on there is for the exact reason why if you were to run into Fallen Eldegard or anything else like that, you have that nullify follow-up attack for the other team. and that is just something that is incredibly useful to just solidify those kills because we have strong people. Marcella is actually maxed out, and Tyburn has just never fallen out of the meta, I feel like, to a certain extent, because you can, if you give him Heavy Blade on top of, for his S skill, and then you give him Gale Force, I believe you can have Gale Force. And you pair him with someone like La Rochelle, very easily able to sweep a team like that. So this is one of my favorite teams. This is an example of an S tier, synergizes fantastically, because this is how it is we have Ashnard. He's maxed out. Perfect. We've given him attack, defense, rain on top of his sword. So right now, if anyone attacks him, they're already coming in with a -9 to attack and defense. So I'm just gonna take Olivia because Olivia would already be doing like next to 0 damage, but he has 46 defense, and if you're getting a -9, Olivia would be doing 49 damage essentially, and even if she doubled or anything, she'd still be doing 0 damage. She's gonna do nothing to Ashnard. That's not the tip of the iceberg. If you put Hell right next to Ashnard, then they have another -4 to all their stats. So in the ideal situation, Ashnard's probably going to be sitting somewhere around right here. And then we have Hinoka. Now after she got her weapon refined, she has this amazing thing that says inflicts -4 attack and defense and speed within 3 spaces. So you could have Ashnard here, you could have Hell right here, and you could have Hinoka right here, and anybody sitting in this bush would be getting essentially a -17 to their attack and to their, that's not with giving any buffs whatsoever to your units. So while they're getting massively debuffed, and I don't have the perfect, she doesn't have anything that's really bulking them up too much, unfortunately, but if you put her within 2 spaces because of her staff, it makes other weapons reduce from foes' attacks during combat within 2 spaces by 30%. And so essentially they're getting -17 attack and defense. They're also having any damage that they happen to be doing reduced by another 30%. That is basically turning -17. So this is making Dursel, it's basically making him have 41 attack, aside from the buffs that he gets from his lance and from his attack solo. Or his defense resistance, did they change it, or is it still okay? It's defense resistance solo. Aside from that, his defense is getting thrown down from 47 to 30 to 29 actually, and then his buffs and everything else. So I'm almost tempted to throw him into Dursel, but I'm not going to just yet. So we're actually going to throw Ashnard right there. Actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and do that because he'll be right here, and then he can move. He'll be right here if he moves. I'm talking about Leaf. And then he can, if Olivia bulks him up, the most he's going to be able to move is right here. So if I move Hinoka right here and he attacks Hell, will be debuffed. And so just in case, we're going to move Flawn right behind, and then that should be a good move. Okay. So we're going to move in and attack Leaf. And in this case, we're going to swap out Hell and Ashnard. Now, he's still going to be getting this minus because it's within 2 spaces and it doesn't matter if he's in the combat or not. So we're going to have Hell here, giving her -4, his -9, and her -3. Right there should be good. And then we're going to move her right behind, giving any damage that he happens to be doing to her. And I'm just going to switch on this animations just so you can see what this actually looks like when it's played out in combat. And Flawn right behind, so any damage that he happens to be doing is going to be minus by 30. So, and those two are partners, so she's getting a +2. So he's doing 4. See the -17 attack, -8 speed, so he's getting it from somewhere. He's also getting a -10 defense, so he's getting a +7 from his solo. And so that was essentially what that is. That was atrocious. That was monstrous. That was insane. And so now we're going to move Ashnard in, just so we can give someone else, we can give Eldegard the -9 defense. And then if we move Hell right here, then that just gives just enough to destroy Eldegard. And keep in mind, this is still in formation, so Olivia is still going to be getting that -17 and -8 and -17 and -4, so she's getting a +4 from somewhere. We're doing 49 twice. Just monstrous. This is my S tier, one of my S tier teams. That is my favorite S tier team just because it synergizes so well. Probably my best example. And so for my last example, this is just an example of your standard support going with another person who's debuffing everybody. Now, because of Micaiah's upgrade that they just gave her, she's actually dealing a lot of damage now that she can double anybody. She's basically can destroy any mage, and then we have Varse, and just basically 2 powerhouses is who's left. So how would I play this out? So we have all beasts. So we'll send in Micaiah to get rid of Nacella. And I have no worries about Dimitri coming in here and lasting, because right now he's getting 48. He also reduces people based on his speed, I believe. And then we can send her around the side. So he's doing 0 twice. I'm getting a +5 to all my boosts. Got 62 coming in hot. So same thing. He's doing 51. Just one-shotting. The Brave Dimitri, or Legendary Dimitri, is just a monster. Gave him a 5 debuff to all of his stats, or her stats. But just one-shotting everybody, he's just a monster. 100% an S tier unit. And so let's go ahead and just check out teams for a second. So, just to kind of recap on what makes a good team, you need to have someone who's supporting, whether that's debuffing or whether that's buffing your own team. So, one of your units has to be that. The other two units have to either be a glass cannon or a bruiser. Bruiser is something like Larcey, who, you know, deals a massive amount of damage. She has her special up in 1, so every time someone attacks her, she instantly has that special to attack back. Let's give an example of someone who's not maxed out yet. I'll just do Blythe. Blythe is not maxed out. This is basically what his initial kit is. The way that I would use him is as a glass cannon. So I would make everything that I could to make his attack high. Give him a support unit, probably a dancer, and just so he can get in, get out. He has that Raptured Sky, so that really boosts him up. Let's see. I would pair him up with someone who, let's see. So pairing him up with someone like Eldigan, the dancer Eldigan, would not be terrible, because say he can't get back very far because he won't have the spaces to get back, then you can just dance Eldigan, and then if there is a red unit that's about to attack or a blue unit, his disadvantage, Blythe's disadvantage, then he would easily be able to suck up any of that damage. Bruiser is Canna is a good example. These are free units, so these are units you're able to get. Fantastic example is that he restores 7 HP. His attack's not necessarily high, but his resistance and defense are in upper 30s, and so easily able to suck up damage. He heals a little bit afterwards. He just can't get hit by anyone too tough, otherwise he'll die. And he also can't deal out damage to people like Fall Nulligard. Let's see, another example of support. So Rayson, another free-to-play unit that would be easily able to be obtained to 5-star, is a perfect example, mainly because of his special. It restores 7 HP to people within 2 turns. The only issue is that Rayson is mainly for a beast / dragon team, and so having Rayson as a support partner for, say, Canna would not be that bad of a choice, because they're different colors. Their different colors are pretty much compatible, meaning that if they come across the other color, they don't have to worry about one taking more damage than the other. And I think he had Wings of Mercy, but I also have something on here like this, is that his drive speed, so he's giving people a +3 to speed buff, which is never bad. And then we have a chill defense chill defense, so he's also debuffing that. So not the best build, but he definitely can stand back while his partners do the work. Young Inus is another example of someone who is the glass cannon. He just goes in, he has +6 to attack and speed, so he's very fast, and his defense and resistance are below 30, so not horrid, but definitely able to be one-shot. His HP is not that hard, but he is also not merged at all, and he doesn't have any fire flowers or anything, so very good. I also like Rolf. At some point I spent some points into him, but I don't know, never really found the best way to use him yet. I'm sure there's better builds out there, but everyone always tries to do the double fury and desperation, and I just don't like that kind of build. It just seems kind of cheap to me. Eir is another good example. She almost doubles as a glass cannon and a support just because she gives that plus 10 HP with her C skill. So that's another example of a support. Super awesome. And so if I were building a team, let's just say I would get Eir, I would get Hannah, and then trying to look for a brain mage or something, but I don't have Lucien is a better example. We'll just do this. Now ideally, we want to split the characters from attack damage and resistance damage. You want to split that up 50-50 in my opinion. And so we have Hannah. In case whatever happens to Hannah happens, then you can rely on someone who also is able to dish out damage. So not the perfect ideal, but I did want to give a team where the average person might be able to get. Lucina's not necessarily that, but you can always get Crom or something else, but Lucina had the bonus, so that's why I wanted to have her. So she's getting a +5 to basically +10 to all of her stats, and so that's going to boost her speed up to 50 actually. And then we have these two, so always would be best to have. So basically Lucina's my glass cannon because she's getting 67 attack and then 50 speed. And then you have Rayson, and they have contradicting colors, and so that makes them good. And then you have Canna, who's your bruiser, who can go in and just soak up damage. So let's just go ahead and go to the training arena and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And so Lucina, let's see. Yikes, I didn't think that's what was going to be going down. Let me just do a better setup. Lucina's right here. Goodness gracious. Okay. So here's the setup. Alright, we got Lucina here. We have the debuff going on to Ira because of Rayson. And then Lucina can come up and we're gonna go ahead and attack from this side. And now Lucina, I'm gonna pull back. And now we're gonna have Rayson, just so that he stays in his transformed form. We're gonna put him right here. And so what'll happen is she will come down and attack. Oh, we will not attack Canna. But it's okay because that's a blue unit, and you can't have a blue unit attacking a red unit. That is no good. So Canna was fortunately able to deal with Nyla. And so we are going to go ahead and just end. And now we're going to send Lucina in again. No, we're not. So this is where your secondary units who can still deal damage come in. So you always want to have ranged units who can do stuff. So we'll send in Lucina, and Lucina's doubles. And so the only thing that I would change is that Lucina, who is, for the sake of this example, the glass cannon, it would have been nice to get her thrown back to safety, but I think that she'll be fine regardless. She's max HP and Fiora does like 0 damage. So that's pretty much the examples that I wanted to go over. I'm gonna set up something real fast. I forget which one my people needed to. So that brings me to the end of what I was going to do with Fire much at this point what I'm doing, and that's a ridiculous amount of buffs. She is not even merged at all, and that's the kind of damage that she's doing. Granted, these are the training units, so they're basically useless, but to have that with Astra and everything else is just monstrous. So, what I need to do is find a new game, because I've just beaten Ganon and my Ocarina of Time randomizer, and so there's a few games that I want to go through. I'll probably be stopping here in a minute to take a break, just because I want to grab some food. But there's 3 games that I was thinking about playing, and it might just be off and on, and I'm definitely going to be coming back to Fire Emblem Heroes more now that the randomizer's done. I just didn't want to do the randomizer because there's so many times where I'd get stuck and then I'd only be able to play for like an hour, and I just didn't want to do anything else. But anyway, the few games that I was thinking about playing are now I'm gonna butcher this name, I already know it, but it's here, let me just bring it up on Steam. There we go. So, the first game that I was thinking about playing that seemed kind of fun is this one called Nier Automata. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it, so I'm sure I butchered it. Please forgive me. It just seemed like a really fun, interesting game. I've had it in my wish list for a while, and it was just on sale, so I got it. But basically, you just play as this, from what I can tell anyway. I just looked at the trailer. Let me see if I can pull it up at the store. But you play as that woman, and you basically go around hack and slashing robots. Alright. Pause that. Here's the trailer.
Remember your pain. The pain of having your homeland stolen. We will never give up our struggle. We will take back our world from the scourge of the machine. We are perpetually trapped in a never-ending spiral of life and death.
It's just like crazy just to see all this stuff.
Perhaps we're not so different after all. Why did you betray us?
Command is the one that betrayed you. Shut up and get out of my head already.
Is that all you got, little android?
We will not fail in this mission. Glory to mankind.
Alright, so that was one of them. Ah. Whoops. All right, so that's one of them. Seems really freaking awesome. And so that was just one of the games. Let me bring up the other one. The next one is actually nothing like the first one. Oh no, game over. That's fine. We'll just send it through again. Oh, or not. Okay. Boy.
It started in Seattle after.
All right. So here's the next one, and I'll just give a little bit of premise on what this is. It's basically it's called Life is Strange 2, so it's the second one in the franchise. And basically there's these two brothers, and I'll just play the trailer. It'll probably be better.
It started in Seattle after everything happened. I wish I could explain.
I'm so sorry.
It was all my fault.
Step back!
Dad came out to help. Oh no.
On the ground!
Somebody called the cops.
Now!
Daniel, go!
Sean, are you okay?
Daniel! Oh my god.
Am I a monster?
You're different. We have a home in Puerto Lobos. We'll be fine.
What if this is a bad idea, Sean?
I wish things were different. But we can't go back. Come on!
You have to move forward.
Be honest. Do you think we'll make it to Mexico?
I wish you could stay here with us.
Be careful, Sean.
Daniel, now!
The more you try and control him,
Stop, Daniel.
the less you have.
I love you. No matter what happens.
Okay. So, I actually got this game like forever ago when it first released. I actually got the I downloaded this when it first came out, so I don't know say when it comes out. Here. Let me play the last like 5 seconds of say. Okay, never mind. Anyway. Oh, 2018. All right, so it came out in 2018. So super relatively old, not super old, but not the newest game. But I I just got bought the full game, never played it cuz I'm a scumbag. And I really wanted to play this. And so basically obviously if you haven't played Life is Strange or haven't seen anybody play Life is Strange yet, It's 100% a storytelling based game. It's not a level up game. There's no sort. It's not anything like Nier Automata. I'll just say that much, because that one there's at least level ups. There's upgrades you can do as far as that goes. But Life is Strange 2 is definitely a different kind of game. It's definitely more of a story based game, and you have choices in that game, and you get to make choices for maybe a big outcome. I don't know. The last game, there weren't really any huge decisions that you had or had not didn't have to make in order to, you know, get the best outcome for the game, because it really just came down to the last choice. So I hope that it's a little bit different for this one, but for the most part, you play as the older brother, and you and your little brother, I guess, are just trying to get to Mexico after some tragedy happens. So it's a really good drama thriller, and I'd think about it more almost as a movie than a game. Oh my gosh, get out of here. And so the last game, and we're going to play all three of these just for a tiny snippet, just so we get a good idea of what's going on with this. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's not what it is. It's so this game actually just came out. And it looked like just the craziest thing ever. Now this is, I don't even know what to compare it to. It just looked like fun. I don't know what part about this made me think, huh, this seems fun, because when I used to work at a gas station, sucked. I'd never do it again, and I don't know why I'm doing it to myself now. Is this playing? No, it's not. Alright, here it is. Here it's not. What is taking this so long to load? That's what got me. A freaking UFO. And so basically what you do is you're playing as this, I think you're playing as this guy right here. And you just buy this gas station. Oh, I'll play the game. Oh, what is going on? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. This looks like gameplay, so I'm gonna pause this. But anyway. That's pretty much what it is. So you buy your own gas station, you start doing gas station things, and, you know, live in a gas station world. So another game, I figured I'd want to play those like off and on, just depending on what the situation is. The other thing that I want to talk about is because it's now Halloween and everything. So because, sorry, I got distracted. So anyway, because it's now Halloween, I was really wanting to play some sort of horror game, and I wasn't sure what one to exactly play. And so like I said before, where'd my Steam go? I did download a decent amount. Here's my Steam library. I hope there's no personal thing that you should be looking at on. But there is somewhere on here Subnautica, and I believe Subnautica either Duel for VR. Not exactly a horror game, but I was thinking underwater. I hate it. And when you're underwater and it's in VR and there's leviathans, which I know are in there, are right in your face, is utterly terrifying. And so I don't know if I necessarily want to do that, but I'll definitely let you guys laugh at me while I get scared. That could be a fun thing. We have the Stanley Parable, and that's actually coming up. I haven't played this in almost 5 years, and don't know if any of you guys have done this yet, but there's an achievement somewhere around here that says don't play Stanley Parable for so we're coming up on that. Seems like it'll be an interesting getting taken back into that. There's obviously ways you can do that by just playing it and then bumping up your calendar by like 5 years, but that's just being cheaty, so I don't really want to do that. Now, I believe there's games like this, and I haven't played it in haven't actually played this game. I just saw it. It was free, and I downloaded it. But I believe this is a horror game, I think. At the very least, a puzzle game. I'm not sure. The Pirate. I don't know when I downloaded. All right. We have Horror of the Deep. That is 100% a horror game. And like all the other games that I have, you're being chased by some monster. So, might be a thing. No, you died. Try again. Is Enigma. That would be a game. A 100% some sort of horror game. I don't know what goes on in it. And then I think Black Rose is. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Alright, yeah. So Black Rose is definitely a horror game. So I thought that would be another interesting game to play. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get something to eat real fast and then be back and we will play a little bit of each of those games and